What's going on, y'all? It's your boy No Cutter, and I'm back again with another one. I need you guys to do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon for more videos like this. That being said, let's get into it. So it looks like Crawford versus Spence beats Canelo versus Munguia. When it comes to pay-per-view sales, it seems like the fans they favor Crawford versus Spence over Munguia versus Canelo. They favor the Americans over the Mexicans. Because the Americans they sold more than the Mexicans. Um, Canelo versus Munguia did like 500K. Bud versus Spence did 700K. They did almost 200K more than Canelo versus Munguia. What does that say? Mexicans versus Mexicans isn't really selling right now, but Americans versus American continues to sell. So we need to see more Mexicans versus American. And the next big fight for both parties to combine is Crawford versus Canelo. If we want to break pay per view numbers, because people are tired of seeing Americans versus American, Mexicans versus Mexicans. They want to see Mexicans versus American. And the number one fight they want to see, Mexicans versus American, is Canelo versus Bud. Instead of 500K, instead of 700K, we'll get over 1 million to 2 million views, pay-per-view buys, if Canelo for Bud. If you put that 700K with that 500K, you got 1.2 million buys right there. But I'm projecting for Crawford versus Canelo to do more than 1.2 million buys. I think it do 2 million pay-per-view buys, Crawford versus Canelo. Honestly, I think Crawford versus Canelo do close to 2 million buys. I really believe that because it will be the biggest fight Canelo has been in since Gennady Golovkin. Canelo versus GGG did $1.1 million. I mean 1.1 million pay-per-view buys, right? That's the last time Canelo did a big pay-per-view buy, right? And let's not forget when he fought GGG, the GGG wasn't really a big star like that. When Canelo fought GGG wasn't a big star like Terrence Crawford is a big star now. Crawford has surpassed what GGG was when Canelo fought him. Where Crawford is at right now, GGG wasn't on that level. Meaning, like, not that many people knew GGG like they know Crawford now. So if Canelo versus GGG is doing 1.1 million pay-per-view buys, and that's the last biggest fight Canelo really had, imagine what a Canelo versus Bud's gonna do. So these people better stop playing with this money and give us Canelo versus Bud, because that's the fight to make. Canelo, he wants all the advantages. He says, I'm not coming down. Crawford got to come up to 168. Crawford says, why not? I'll go up there. Just accept the fight. Canelo, all he has to do is just accept the fight. Turkey Al-Sheikh said he's willing to make the fight. All Canelo has to do is say, all right, I'm going to fight Bud. Instead of doing that and promoting the fight, he talking about he not going to get no credit. You better worry about winning the fight first before you worry about getting credit. because that's not a guaranteed fight that you're going to win. You better worry about how you're going to stop this dominant fighter, this all-time great fighter in his prime. You better worry about how you're going to stop him from doing what he wants to do, because he's a ring general. That's the thing about Bud. Bud is a ring general. I remember watching the fight. Bud got to get past Madrimov, and it ain't looking good. Bud is up against Father Time. King G Immortal. Do you watch film? Do you watch film? Like you just killed my thought. I was thinking something I wanted to say, but since you killed my thought, I'm gonna entertain you for a second. All right, buddy? I'll entertain you for a little bit. Okay, King? So let me ask you this. Do you believe in film study? Do you watch, like, when a fight is about to happen, do you go and you study these guys? So okay, that's good. That's good. Have you studied Madrimov? Have you studied him? Did you look at his style? Have you studied him? What does he do good and what does he do bad? No. I ain't talking about Bud. I'm talking about Madrimov. Forget about Bud. We already know what Bud do. We're talking about Madrimov. Let's worry about him for a second. Did you study his style yet? Have you watched any of his fights? Did you see his weaknesses? Did you see any holes in his game that Bud can exploit? Did you check him out? Did you do any really good film study on him yet? That's all I'm asking, buddy. That's all I'm asking. What area of his game do you believe is vulnerable? Please let me know, because I've been doing a lot of film study on Madrimov. I've been watching a lot of film on Madrimov, and so far, I like everything I've been picking up. My question to you is, have you been picking up anything watching Madrimov? He says, yes, Madrimov is very athletic. He blocks punches with his face. Yo, you funny as shit, Brody. Yo, you funny as shit. I gotta give you that, bro. I ain't expect you to say that. I gotta give you that. Yo, he said he block punches with his face sometimes. Oh, come on, man. That's funny, bro. And that's where I was going, with it too. The fact that you said it for me, that he blocked punches with his face, it leads to what I was gonna say. Right? Madrimov, he lacks defense. When we do the film study, King, we realize that Madrimov, his flaws are defensive flaws. And you cannot go into a ring with a master boxer, a sniper, a knockout artist like a guy like Bud, and you have problems, you have holes in your defense, you're cooked. It's over. And that's Madrimov's problem. He's a great offensive fighter, but he's terrible defensively. And that's no disrespect to him, but it's what I've been seeing so far. It's what I've been seeing, what he has shown me. Maybe he comes into the fight better defensively, but I don't really see it. Maybe he comes into the fight better defensively, but I don't see it. From what I've been watching, from the film study that I've been watching, this dude has too much holes in his defense. And I'm like, what? He has way too much holes in his defense. Way too much. And Bud is just gonna exploit. This guy. I think it's gonna be, you know what fight I think this fight is gonna remind me of? Crawford versus David Avanesian. Did you watch the Crawford versus David Avanesian fight? that's the fight. That's how similar I think this fight is gonna go. I see Crawford laying this guy out cold. Honestly, I honestly see this dude getting stopped cold, knocked out cold. Like, that's what I see because of the defensive flaws. Now, if he didn't have those defensive flaws, then I will give him more of a chance. I think he's a solid fighter, but because of those defensive flaws, I think he's going to get hurt really bad in this fight. It's going to be really nasty. It's going to be a nasty knockout because of those defensive flaws that I see. But we'll see what happens. Salute to my guy Carlos, though. Carlos Rosado, salute. He said easy work by Lomo last night. Oh, yeah. That joint was... Lomo showed up last night. He came to fight. I like what I saw. For sure, Lomachenko. He came to fight last night. He put on a show last night against what's his name? George Kambosos. I didn't put no money on it. I should have. I got somebody else paid though. Somebody hit me up and was like, how you think that fight is gonna go? And I said, I think Lomo can really stop George Kambosos. But if he stops him, it's gonna be late. It's not gonna be early. It's gonna be late. I think Lomo can stop George. And that's what happened. Lomo was able to stop George. But I said if he can't stop him, he'll get him on points. But he was able to knock him out. And the person that I told that to, they were able to put money on a stoppage in the late rounds. And they made some good money. They was like, I'm coming to you every time for the prediction. I said, all right, if you come to me every time, you better cut me a check too, bro. I just put all that money in your pocket. Where my piece of the pie? Carlos Rosado said he blocks punches with his face means he can take a punch, I guess, but Buzz gonna break him down. Carlos, he blocks punches with his face, meaning his defense is flawed. Like, his defense is really flawed. That's the first thing I noticed when I was watching this guy fight. I was like, man, this dude defense is terrible, bro. Like, you know how when you go to the gym, right? You learn offense to defense or defense to offense. You understand? It's usually offense to defense. So when you throw your punches, you gotta come back. You gotta have everything come back to your face. When this dude throws his punches, his hands is like in these awkward position, and I'm like, this dude's a world champion. He's a solid fighter, but he has serious holes in his defense. Serious holes in his defense, and it's just a shame that he's getting in there with somebody like a Bud who picks up on everything. So that's why I'm predicting this is going to be a nasty knockout, like a David Avanesian type of knockout. If the dude defense was a little bit better, I wouldn't be saying that. But because he has those defensive flaws, and like King said, he eats punches with his face, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. But we'll see. Maybe he could take the punishment. Earl Spence couldn't take the punishment. Maybe he could take it. So we'll see. We'll see how much of the punishment he could take. But he's going to get punished for sure. Let me see. Easy work for Loma last night. He got that sneaky leaping left right hook though. Yeah, and he got that overhand right too. He got an overhand right too. So I seen him with a nice little overhand right. He likes to throw over and over. He blocks punches with his face, means he could take a punch, I guess, but Bud's going to break him down. Carlos, you get it. He does, but his youthfulness carries him. I want Bud to win, but dude is dangerous, I'm telling you. Listen, nobody's saying he's not dangerous. He's dangerous offensively, but just as dangerous as he is offensively, Bud is just as dangerous, if not more, which Bud, in my opinion, is more dangerous offensively. But the problem here is he's vulnerable defensively. So if he can't get off on Bud because Bud is on point defensively, it's going to be an ass whooping. That's what it's going to be. He's dangerous, yes, but he's going to have punches coming back at him. That's the problem. That's the problem. When Bud starts landing on this guy, I feel like he's going to fall apart. He's going to fall apart. He's going to have punches coming from every single angle, and he's going to fall apart. He's going to get hit with punches he's never been hit before with. And these are like sharp counter punches because he swings wild. He swings wild, meaning like he throws wide punches. He don't throw straight punches. A lot of his punches are wide. Bud is going to punch in between his punches with counters, sneaky counters, short little hooks, uppercuts. And like I said, I feel like it might be the hook that put him away. It might be the hook. If not the hook, it'll be the uppercut. Those are the two punches I'm looking for. The hook and the uppercut to put him away. Because he's such an aggressive fighter. But because he's so aggressive, you can use his aggression against him. You can literally use a fighter aggression against them. And I feel like that's what Bud's going to do. He's going to use his own momentum to walk him into a shot. You understand what I'm saying, King? He's going to use that guy momentum to walk him into a nasty hook like he did with... That's what I'm saying. I want to reference you to go watch Bud versus David Avanesian. That's the fight you need to watch. You need to go and watch that fight. If you go and you watch Bud versus David Avanesian, I'm not saying David Avanesian fight exactly like Mandramov, but that's the fight. If I had to reference you to any fight to look at, is that fight. The reason why I'm referencing you to that fight is because this guy is like the same size as David Avanesian. And when you're like the same size as Crawford, it's going to end bad because he could just pick you apart easy. Usually it's a little bit difficult for Bud to pick a guy apart, figuring him out when he's a little bit bigger, because then Bud has to take some chances. But Mandramov is going to be right there because he's too small. When I say too small, I mean like he's short. He got short arms. He's stocky and all, but he's literally going to be right there to get picked apart. You understand what I'm saying? He's going to be right there. you know. So we'll see. But let me see. Jameson Everett II, salute. Jameson Everett II, salute. Nathan, salute. King G Immortal, salute. Jameson Everett II. Jameson Everett II says he drops his hands to his waist because he can get away with it against C-level fighters. Exactly, Jameson Edward. This is what I'm saying. Bro, I watched 2 to 3 fights from this guy, and I was like, damn, this dude's in a lot of trouble. He's not a bum, but he just makes too many errors defensively. Hey, yo, what the fuck? Somebody's house burning? Oh. He just makes too many errors defensively. This is what I was trying to tell. This is what I'm trying to tell people. When you do the film study, and you look at how this guy fights, you're gonna pick up on his bad habits immediately. And this is a talented amateur fighter. So I would have thought his defense would have been a little bit better than that. I was surprised that he had so much defensive flaws. When I first watched a few of his fights, I was in shock a little bit. I don't want to say this is a cherry pick fight because this guy is a solid fighter, and it's not a cherry pick fight, it's a solid fight. But because of his defensive flaws, I think this is going to be a very nasty knockout. I can't see anything other than a one punch knockout. A one punch knockout to put Madrimov down and out for the count. And I like Madrimov, but I see him getting knocked out viciously, man. I don't know, guys. Do y'all really think I'm reaching? Because I see this guy getting cooked. I see this guy getting cooked, similar to David Avanesian. That's how I'm looking at this fight. I'm looking at Bud just going in there and cooking this dude to taking the #1 pound for pound spot back from Inoue, becoming a 4th division world champion. I don't think it's going to be as competitive as people are trying to make it. People are trying to make it seem like this fight's going to be real competitive, back and forth. I don't think that's going to be the case. Let me read some of these comments, though. I'm trying to save y'all from potential heartbreak. King G Mortal. King G, you're crazy, bro. You're crazy. The film don't lie, my guy. King G Immortal says, I'm trying to save y'all from potential heartbreak. That's the funniest shit I heard all day. Film study don't lie, my guy. I watched the film. This guy has too many holes in this game. There will be no heartbreak. I know there are some people praying for Bud to lose, but I guarantee you, buddy, there will be no heartbreak. It'll be another day in the office for the great Terrence Crawford. Another day in the office for the great Bud. Like I said, it'll be another day in the office for the great Terrence Crawford. I don't see a heartbreak, my guy. So we'll see what you're talking about, but I don't see it. Bud is going to be putting paws on him till he get caught with a sneaky leaping hook. I hope not. That's not going to happen. Yeah, but Bud versus Spence was a bigger fight than Canelo versus Munguia. Salute. Yeah, it was. But Canelo is supposed to be the bigger star in the sport. He shouldn't be getting sold by almost 200. He shouldn't be getting outsold by almost 200K. That's too much. He got outsold by almost 200K. So I don't know. He is a lot smarter than the Avanesian. He is bigger, stronger, wiser than the Avanesian, though. But he's about the same size, bro. That makes the fight easier for Bud. When a guy is small like that, he's easy to get picked apart. He's gonna be right there. Bud's gonna pick him apart. I'm not crazy. I'm worried about Bud. He'll get cooked until out of nowhere it leaps into a Superman hook. Nah, that's not gonna happen, bro. That's not gonna happen. That's King G Immortal. That's not gonna happen, bro. Man, I don't think film study lies, bro. I don't see that happening. You know, I feel like that's what the Spence fans are thinking. They're saying, "Oh my God, Crawford's gonna. We hope Crawford's winning, and then he gets hit with a hook or something, and he gets knocked out." But that's not gonna happen. Crawford's too intelligent for that. Way too intelligent for that. So I don't see that happening, King G Immortal. I really don't see that happening, buddy. James and Edward II, salute. He said after every Canelo fight, his fanboys talk about how he destroyed Bud. Oh, for real? That's what they be saying? I don't know how they think that after watching him fight dudes like Munguia. Yeah, I don't know. The guy hasn't got a knockout in almost 3 years. But every single fight they say he's gonna knock out another fighter. Canelo Power is completely overrated. Completely overrated. They overrate this guy so much. It's crazy. I was just getting a phone call. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Hold on. If you can hear me, let me know. I was just getting a phone call. Let me see. Let me see if my mic is working. I was just getting a phone call. Is my mic working? Let me know if my mic is still working. Oh, it looks like it's working. It's moving. But James and Edward, you been watching the playoffs, bro? Who you like in the playoffs? Hey, yo, I gotta do a live on Shakur Stevenson real quick. Shakur Steve Shakur Stevenson says some, hey yo, King G Immortal, hit the link, bro. Come on here. I wanna have a conversation with you. If you can. I want you to hit the link and come and hop on the show. Let's have a little conversation. If you can. I just dropped the link. If you want to. Cause I just want to pick your brain for a second, my guy. Cause I do this boxing stuff and I put money on this stuff too. I'm not gonna be on here just saying anything just to say. I'm on here after doing my film study, doing my due diligence. That's why I come on here and sound so confident. You understand, King? I do my due diligence. I do my homework. I don't just come on here and just say anything that pops to my head. I educate myself every single day on the sport. I study. I do a lot of film study. Like I'm getting into a fight. Like I got a fight lined up. I'm also an amateur boxer. I do a lot of film study, bro, on any fighter that's about to fight at the highest level. The only fight I really didn't do film study on was Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. And I'm mad about that because I could have made money on that fight. I could have made a lot of money on that fight if I remember that Devin Haney was acceptable to that left hook. I could have made some cheese on that fight. Oh, man. But yeah, guys, have y'all been seeing Shakur Stevenson post recently, man? Shakur's been throwing a lot of shots at Bob Arum, bro. It's crazy. Every time I see Shakur post something, he's throwing shots. Uh, last night the neighborhood Hebrew salute shalom. I dropped the link on you if you want to come on here and bust it up a little bit. Last night I seen a post from Shakur where he says Bob Arum doesn't even run his own company. He says there are people trying to steal Bob Arum company away from him. I was like, what is Shakur talking about, bro? He says Bob Arum doesn't even know there's a snake at Top Rank trying to steal his company from under him, and he's like completely lost and doesn't know his company is getting stolen from him behind his back. I was like, yo, what the freak is Shakur talking about, bro? Shakur crazy. I ain't gonna say he crazy, but like he said some shit. Like what, bro? I was so confused when I read that. Let me see if I can find that. Hold on, let me see if I can find that post from Shakur Stevenson, y'all. But Shakur said some shit. Let me see if I can find it, guys. Hopefully I can find it. Where is it? Come on, Shakur, where you at, buddy? Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Here it is. I got it, guys. I got it. I got it for you. I was looking for it. I found it. This is what Shakur had to say. I might do another live about that because that's crazy. I hope you guys can see. He says, Bob don't got no say no more. They just letting him believe he run it. But they taking over his company behind the scenes. Bunch of snakes who don't really fuck with Bob like that. What do y'all think Shakur mean by that? What do y'all think Shakur mean by that? He says Bob don't run his company no more. It's a bunch of snakes stealing his company from him or some shit. What do y'all think Shakur mean by that? That's crazy. And how would Shakur know information like that? And earlier today, well, literally like 10, 20 minutes ago, Shakur just posted a post where he's talking about his promoter don't believe in him. He says his promoter and Bob Arum doesn't believe in him. Bob O and C now. LOL. Hey yo, King, can you come on the show, bro? I dropped the link on you. I wanted you to hit the link and come on here and let's talk boxing for a little bit. If you can, it's cool. But I was trying to see if you could come on here. I wanted to pick your brain for a second. But if you can't, it's cool. But what I'm saying is, how will Shakur Stevenson know that stuff? But like I also said, he dropped something earlier today. He posted something where he said his promoter didn't really believe in him. He's pretty much insinuating that he's leaving Top Rank. He's pretty much saying he's leaving Top Rank. That's what he's saying right now. He's leaving Top Rank. Oh, okay. You said you in a workplace? Oh, all right, oh, all right. You don't gotta come on then. My fault. My fault, gang. I was about to though, but I'll wait. Okay, yeah, let me know. I'll be on later. He said I get off at 2. It's 2:08 right now where I'm at. But yeah, for sure. So I want to see Crawford versus Earl ASAP. I said Crawford versus Earl. Crawford versus Canelo, man. You know, but I want to see how Crawford handles this Madrimov guy at 154. If he handles this guy as easy as I believe he will, then he's ready for anybody at 154, 160, or 168. But anyway, guys, I gotta take care of something real quick. I'll be back later. It's your boy No Credit, and I'm out.